What's the deal? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving deep into the high-stakes topics that's been buzzing across the internet, the complex murder for hire trial involving Lil Durk and OTF members. Joining us for this discussion are two fascinating voices in this conversation: DJ Academics, known for his sharp commentary on hip-hop culture, and Myron, a former federal agent with insights into the legal intricacies at play. Together, they'll help us unpack the details of this case, explore the implications for those involved, and discuss what it all means for the wider rap community. From the courtroom drama to the real-life consequences, we're covering it all, and let's get to it.
Which every FBI field office has a group called Safe Streets Task Force, Violent Crimes. They do bank robberies, gang shit, RICOs like this, etc. Right? So she's in this squad, right? So she's a case agent on this. She probably been investigating this for what looks like a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it may be, right? So she goes ahead and she probably gets a phone call, or she has somebody that will. Okay, let's go through this. These violent crime task forces typically have law enforcement officers from other agencies, okay? And a lot of the times, HSI and or Customs is on these task forces because the FBI doesn't have really Customs authority like that and immigration authority, right? They have it, but it's very watered down. So
doesn't HSI have it though? You said FBI doesn't have it.
HSI does have it.
Okay.
So when you're on these task forces, right? She probably put a hit on Durk so that if he ever tries to leave the country, she'll get notified, right? That's why if you look at the complaints, the CBP databases, Customs and Border Protection. So she got notified that he booked flights and that he was intending to leave. When she got this hit, she's like, oh shit. Go ahead.
And I know I'm probably slowing down you with the explanation, but we're also mirroring it to Diddy because we've heard this narrative. Diddy should have ran. Diddy should have done this. He should have got out of Dodge. Do you believe that maybe similar? Because they look like they were aware of this. It's not like they were like, oh, where did he go? They were aware of this more than just like tailing him physically. They knew that he booked these flights. Do you think that they probably had some sort of the similar, kind of surveillance on Diddy where like if he ever planned to fly out, like while they were about to indict, they would be like, hey, we're going to hit him with a complaint? Sorry.
Yeah, 100%, because HSI controls the ports. So if you try to leave, that's the worst agency to try to run from because they know everyone coming in and out of the country because that falls under immigration. Now, the FBI doesn't have access to these CBP databases that they're talking about, but they definitely have task force officers a lot of the time assigned to their units, and they can put text hits on people as well to try to like figure this stuff out. So the point I'm trying to make here is that when he was trying to leave, they knew that he was going to leave, even though he booked multiple flights. So as soon as she got the notification that he was trying to leave, this is why she called her AUSA. This is what she did. She gets the hit that he's going to leave. She calls her prosecutor. Hey, AUSA XYZ, Durk is trying to run.
Wait. Just give me 1 second. Hey, chat. What are you saying about Myron's mic? Because I could hear him. What are we expecting? So first of all, he was held in Broward. Now he's in FDC Miami. He waved something called identity hearing. I don't know what that is, but I felt that was probably
identity hearing is when whenever you basically want to say like, oh, I'm not the person that y'all have in the arrest warrant.
Oh, okay.
I actually testified at one of these. So why? Because I remember, funny enough, I arrested a guy and he tried to say that he wasn't the same guy, and I knew he was going to try to do that bullshit. So I went ahead and I got his biometrics, his fingerprint stuff, and I brought it with me to court. And then he saw me there, and my AUSA told his defense attorney that, hey, the agent has the biometric stuff here. If you want to do this hearing, we can do it. And they waived it at the last second. But basically, it's kind of like it's to prove that he wasn't necessarily a flight risk because his team had been constantly letting the AUSA's office know where he was and cooperating. But what they got him on was a danger to community because they found a gun in one of his houses with the serial number scratched off, which is a crime. And then there was some information about his people contacting witnesses saying, hey, don't cooperate, it will pay you, etc. So that's why they ended up locking Diddy up, was because he was contacting witnesses and the gun with the scratched serial number, so they held him. In Durk's case, they're going to get him on all three. They're going to get him on danger to community because obviously this is a violent crime. They're going to get him on flight risk because he tried to flee when he was released. And then the third is there was some talk about him potentially telling people to shut the hell up and intimidating witnesses. So he actually covers all three. So this is going to be very easy for the government to justify and rationalize him being locked up regardless of whatever bail package he tries to come with. Because, I mean, hell, Diddy came with like a $50 million house and a bunch of other things he was willing to put up. Durk probably doesn't have that much to put up. And he's he checks the box for all the other issues that they have with flight risk and danger community. So there's no way, I don't see any way that he's going to be released on bond, especially since he tried to flee the country on 3 different flights. No way. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, that is going to be really odd. Now, based on the indictment, and
they're going to hold him until trial, bro. And him, since he's locked up, 9 out of 10 times when they hold you pending trial, most defendants push for a speedy trial. So that could maybe work in his favor because that's going to force the government to get ready within 60 to 70 days. But still, they probably have it pretty iron shut because for them to go ahead and arrest his 5 homies first, one of them is going to flip. One of them will.
Yeah. So, bail
Didn't one of them already flip or OTF?
is looking like that's not going to happen, right?
OTF Jam wasn't involved. He was just already cooperating from.
We're talking about is cooperation, though. Some people believe that there's someone who is wearing a wire. Based on what you saw in the charging documents, whether the complaint or the indictment, do you believe that anybody wore a wire, or do you think that this is a series of unfortunate events?
It's possible that they had an informant in. Whether that informant was wearing a wire, it's too early to tell now. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have someone that was either directly tied with Durk or someone that was maybe one layer away to be able to provide them this information. But from the evidence that I'm seeing right now in this criminal complaint, what they got, a lot of it is old-fashioned police work, cameras, looking at financial records with credit cards, hotel bookings, basic stuff that they were able to pull, working with other agencies. So, but remember, criminal complaints 9 out of 10 times don't reveal everything they have. They just reveal what's necessary to establish probable cause. They give the bare minimum to get the guy arrested. So they might have way more. And we won't know until Durk's lawyer gets the discovery. But that's going to dictate what happens from there.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised if they didn't have at least one or two sources into the situation.
Yeah, there's been talk about a guy named OTF Jam and like maybe he's the one cooperating. When I read through the indictment, and maybe you could help me explain this. So the 3 shooters who hopped out and shot the guy and subsequently killed Lil Pop, 2 of their names are written, and there's one guy still as co-conspirator 1. Does that mean he's why would they lock up 2 guys and the other guy is not locked up, and they would list him as co-conspirator 2 if he's not telling?
There's multiple different reasons for that. I mean, sometimes, they'll do that just to make things easier so that they don't constantly put a bunch of names in. It's like kind of more like a writing style thing. It could be. It could be because it's someone that hasn't been arrested yet. That could be a part of the reason why. It really depends on the situation.
So,
but it's scary.
Do you believe there was a wire used in the situation or no? Or like a wire or wiretap?
Okay. When we say wire, are we talking about Title III intercepts where they're actively picking up phone calls and real-time information? Or are we talking about an informant wearing a recording device?
Second one.
Okay, someone wearing a okay. It's possible. It's possible. They didn't refer to it is gonna not have to stand tall and get damn near a life sentence. He's going to have to cooperate with the police and help them solve all those unsolved murders in Chicago, back dating, when the drill era started in the 2010s. He would have to come forward and solve all those fucking murders and help them figure out who killed KI, who killed the ops, who killed this individual, etc. And he'd have to piece the stuff together, assuming the feds even give him that opportunity. Because keep in mind, those murders in Chicago are all state cases being run by Chicago PD and or maybe the state police. So the feds might not even give a shit about it because this is a case being charged by FBI LA. So they might not even have an interest in pursuing these unsolved murders in Chicago. But I would say that's the only way that Durk is going to get out of this and get some kind of leniency is if he helps solve all those unsolved murders in Chicago.
Wow. Pretty fucking sad, man.
Yeah. Because it's a federal case, so they might not have the same vested interest as the locals do. Which we know that they don't give a shit like that either, because Chicago PD's been slacking for 10 plus years, all these unsolved murders.
Yeah. No, 100%. What do you what could you see, like, say the shooter, right? If he was cooperating, right? Yeah. Obviously it's in federal court, so now we're talking about 5K1 letters and shit like that. Could you see potentially maybe somebody who's a shooter testify or cooperate against Durk and gets, I don't know, 15 years?
For sure. I think that's why they picked the 5 guys up first. I think that was their original strategy, was to flip one or two of them as a key witness. They get a better deal, and then Durk does the brunt of the time. Because what's going to happen here, whenever there's the feds come after you, right, and they charge you, you get different times based on being the leader or organizer of an organization or of a criminal activity. So in this case, Durk was the top guy. I guarantee you this FBI file, if we were to look at it, it probably is going to be reading Durk Banks et al. So he's the file title, which means he's the main guy.
Yeah.
They picked up those 5 guys in anticipation of them cooperating, and then they would go ahead and get a better deal in exchange for bringing Durk forward, who's the leader organizer. But they didn't anticipate that he was going to try to run like he did. So that's why they had to go ahead and do a criminal complaint via telephone, like you saw.
Yeah, no. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is so intriguing, but it's so shocking. How does the feds keep this like low?
Well, I mean, it's FBI. The FBI, as much as criticism as they get, they're pretty good from an operational security standpoint. They classify everything, which is comical because there's been times where I give them information and then I ask them for that information. They'll sit there and tell me that's classified. I'm like, what the fuck? I gave you that info. But you know, they are pretty good at keeping things tight-lipped. You know, obviously they went ahead and did the Trump search warrant and all this other shit. So they do have fairly good operational security. But yeah, man, this is something that they've been doing now for a while, as you can see. As soon as King Von got killed, they probably opened up a case potentially, or if not, even before that, probably because.
Yeah, I mean, we did hear when Trench's News and Academics was talking. He said Muwop mentioned, or the prosecutor or the lawyer brought up Lil Durk in that FPG Duck murder trial. Rest in peace.
FPG Duck thing probably brought their attention to it as well. This agent probably worked very closely with the FBI field office out of Chicago that handled the Duck case.
All right, I'm gonna sound a little bit ignorant, but I'll ask. Okay, based on your research on whatever, if say there is no witnesses that turn up to court, do you think Durk could beat this?
Okay, let's play that scenario. Let's assume that the 5 guys that got arrested all stand tall and say, no, I'm not fucking talking. That will put Durk in a good position where he could potentially go to trial. But we still don't know who else they might have, because they might have, I'm guessing that they have other sources that provided them information which led them to be able to indict these 5 guys. So he's still not out of the hole yet, because there might be other individuals in Durk's camp that provided info that even got the shooters caught up. So, obviously none of these guys talking would be huge. It'd be great for Durk, because the other individuals might not be privy to what Durk is doing that might have cooperated. But yeah, bro, this is going to be very, very difficult, because I anticipate one of these 5 is going to talk, bro.
Yeah, no, hey. This is gonna be one of those things, man. Man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm tired as shit, bro. It's 4:00 here. I'm about to hop off of this joint. I do wanna get into some of the. We didn't get into. First of all, there's a bunch more things here. For example, there's a few things in the indictment that I want to go over with you, but also the Diddy indictment. We finally got a gag order, and essentially.